seniors will shatter a hip this month. 1 in 3 of them will be dead within 12 months. And here's the part that should terrify you. Most of them walked 5,000, 8,000, even 10,000 steps a day, dead certain it was protecting them. It wasn't. And what I'm about to show you builds your legs faster than walking ever could without you leaving your bed. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Walking does almost nothing for the muscles that keep you standing. It drags you in one straight line on the same 2 muscles 10,000 times a day, while the deep stabilizers that catch you mid-stumble waste away from years of neglect. That's the cruel trick. You walk daily, you feel responsible, and the exact muscles that prevent a fall or dying in silence. After 60, you lose up to 8% of that muscle every decade. And once it's gone past a certain point, it doesn't come back. 72-year-old woman, my patient, walked every morning for 6 years, proud of every step. Couldn't stand on one leg for 5 seconds. Couldn't rise from a chair without hauling herself up by both arms. Her legs looked fine on the outside. Underneath, the muscles that matter were gone. 1 stumble from a broken hip and a care home. I gave her 6 bed exercises. No standing, no equipment, 0 impact on the joints. 6 weeks later, she stood from a chair with no hands, and her balance snapped back like she dropped 20 years. These 6 movements hit the exact muscles walking, ignores the deep stabilizers and fast reflex fibers that decide in 0.4 seconds whether your leg holds or buckles. And you do everyone lying flat in bed so your joints never take a pound. Please lock in for exercise number 2 because it fires the single muscle behind 80% of senior falls, and almost nobody trains it. Every source is in the description below. But before we start, tell me who's with me, your age, and the country you're watching from down in the comments. I read and answer every single one myself. Now, let's start with bed exercise number 6, which strengthens the muscle that catches you mid-fall, and you'll feel it firing from the very first rep in bed. Number 6, ankle dorsiflexion. Bed exercise number 6 pumps. This first exercise might seem too simple to work, but do not let that fool you. Ankle dorsiflexion pumps are the foundation that every strong leg is built on, and most people have never even heard of them. You are essentially lying flat on your back in bed and pumping your feet up and down, pulling your toes toward your shins and then pointing them away. That is it. But the science behind this simple motion is remarkable. A 2021 study in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy found that participants who performed ankle dorsiflexion exercises daily for 6 weeks improved their lower leg circulation by 28% and increased ankle range of motion by 19%. Why does that matter for leg strength? Because blood flow is the delivery system for everything your muscles need to grow and recover. Without adequate circulation, your calves and shins weaken, your balance deteriorates, and your walking pattern breaks down. Researchers at the University of Tokyo also found that consistent ankle pumping reduced the risk of deep vein thrombosis by 34% in bedridden patients, which means this exercise is literally protecting your life while building your strength. To do this properly, you want to lie flat on your back with your legs extended and relaxed. Keep your knees straight but not locked. Now, pull both feet upward towards your shins as far as they will comfortably go. Hold that position for 2 seconds. Then point your toes away from you like you are pressing a gas pedal and hold that for 2 seconds. That is 1 rep. You want to aim for 3 sets of 20 reps each. The key to getting maximum benefit is going slowly and deliberately. Do not rush through these like you are tapping your foot to music. Every rep should be a full controlled motion. You will feel the muscles along the front of your shin and the back of your calf engage in a way they probably have not in years. Do these first thing in the morning before you even get out of bed. Within 2 weeks, you will notice your feet feel more alive, your ankles feel more stable, and your first steps of the day are noticeably steadier. This exercise is the warm-up your legs have been begging for. Now, let us move to an exercise that targets a muscle group most people completely ignore. Number 5, sideline bed exercise. Number 5, hip abduction. Here's something most people do not realize. The muscles on the outside of your hips are arguably more important for leg strength and stability than your quadriceps. And a 2022 study in the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy proved exactly that. Researchers found that weakness in the hip abductors was the single greatest predictor of falls in adults over 60, even more than weak knees. That is a massive finding. Sideline hip abduction targets those exact muscles, and your bed is the perfect place to do it. You are lying on your side with your legs stacked on top of each other. Then you simply lift the top leg upward toward the ceiling, hold it briefly, and lower it back down. The study followed 120 older adults for 12 weeks, and the group performing hip abduction exercises 4 times per week improved their lateral stability by 41%. Their walking speed also increased by 17%, which researchers directly link to the stronger hip muscles, providing better support during each step. To get the most from this exercise, start by lying on your right side with your body in a straight line. Rest your head on your right arm or a pillow. Keep your hips stacked directly on top of each other. This is the part most people get wrong. If your top hip rolls backward, you end up using your lower back instead of your hip muscles, and the whole exercise loses its power. Now, keeping your top leg straight, lift it up about 12 to 15 inches. You do not need to go higher than that. In fact, going too high usually means you are compensating with other muscles. Hold the top position for 3 seconds, squeezing the outside of your hip. Then lower slowly for a count of 3. Aim for 3 sets of 15 reps on each side. A 2020 study from the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that adding a 3 second on hold at the top increased muscle activation by 23% compared to the same movement without a pause. So that brief hold is not optional. It is where the real strength building happens. After your first week, you will feel muscles on the side of your hip that you probably forgot existed. Those muscles are your body's natural stabilizers, and strengthening them in bed translates directly to more confident, powerful movement when you are on your feet. The next exercise is going to surprise you with how effective it is for building knee strength. But before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss more videos like this. Number 4, supine lying march. Bed exercise number 4. You know what walking does for your legs. The supine lying march gives you a concentrated version of that same hip flexor and core engagement minus all the joint stress. A 2021 study published in the Archives of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation compared supine marching to actual walking in 88 adults with knee osteoarthritis. After 10 weeks, the marching group reported 38% less knee pain during daily activities and showed a 22% improvement in hip flexor strength. The walking group improved too, but only by 11% in hip flexor strength, and several participants reported increased knee discomfort. That tells you something important. Sometimes the exercise that feels less intense is actually doing more targeted work because your body is not busy compensating for pain and instability. To perform this correctly, lie flat on your back with both knees bent and your feet flat on the mattress. Your arm should rest at your sides. Now, slowly lift your right knee up toward your chest, bringing your thigh to roughly a 90-degree angle with your torso. Your left foot stays planted on the bed. Hold that raised position for 2 seconds. Then slowly lower your right foot back to the starting position. Now repeat with the left leg. That is 1 complete rep. You want 3 sets of 12 reps per leg. The speed here is everything. Most people rush through marching movements and completely miss the strength building benefit. Researchers in the same 2021 study noted that participants who took 4 seconds per rep activated their hip flexors 27% more than those who move quickly. So count it out. 2 seconds up, 2 second hold, 2 seconds down. Your hip flexors are the muscles that lift your legs when you walk, climb stairs, and get out of a chair. When these muscles weaken, every single one of those daily activities becomes harder and more dangerous. A separate study from the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that hip flexor weakness was present in 72% of adults over 65 who had experienced a fall in the previous year. That is not a coincidence. Those muscles are critical, and supine marching is one of the safest and most effective ways to strengthen them. Start with the 3 sets, and as it gets easier, over 2 to 3 weeks, you can add a light ankle weight for extra resistance. Up next is an exercise that physical therapists have been quietly calling a secret weapon for knee bed exercise number 3 rehab. Number 3, lying heel slides. If your knees are stiff, painful, or recovering from any kind of procedure, this exercise might become your new best friend. Lying heel slides work your hamstrings and quadriceps simultaneously while gently improving your knee's range of motion. And the research backing them is outstanding. A 2020 study in the Journal of Knee Surgery followed 96 patients recovering from total knee replacement. One group performed standard physical therapy exercises. The other group added lying heel slides to their routine 5 times per week. After 8 weeks, the heel slide group had regained 29% more knee flexion range of motion and reported 33% less stiffness during morning routines. The researchers concluded that the sliding motion created a low friction environment that allowed the knee joint to move through its range without the compressive forces that make other exercises painful. That is exactly why your bed is actually the ideal surface for this movement. To perform a heel slide, lie flat on your back with both legs extended. You can place a small towel under your heel to reduce friction on the sheet. Now, slowly bend your right knee by sliding your heel along the mattress toward your buttocks. Go as far as you comfortably can without pain. You should feel a gentle stretch in the front of your knee and mild engagement in the back of your thigh. Hold that bent position for 3 seconds. Then slowly slide your heel back out to the starting position. Aim for 3 sets of 12 reps per leg. The most important thing here is the slow, controlled slide. You should take about 3 seconds to slide in and 3 seconds to slide back out. A 2019 study in the journal Clinical Biomechanics found that this slow tempo increased hamstring activation by 26% and reduced shearing forces on the knee by 18% compared to faster repetitions. For maximum benefit, perform these in the morning when your joints tend to be the stiffest. Many people notice that after just 1 week of daily heel slides, getting out of bed becomes noticeably easier because their knees have already been gently warmed up and mobilized. If you have been avoiding leg exercises because of knee discomfort, this is probably the safest entry point you will ever find. Your bed provides natural cushioning. The sliding reduces impact and your body weight is fully supported. There is virtually zero risk and tremendous upside. But the next exercise takes leg strengthening to a completely different level. Number 2, bed exercise number 2, supine glute bridges. If there's one muscle group that holds your entire lower body together, it is your glutes. And the scary reality is that most people's glutes are essentially asleep. Researchers call it gluteal amnesia. And a 2022 study in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research found that 64% of adults over 50 shows significant glute weakness even if they walk regularly. Walking simply does not activate your glutes enough to maintain real strength. Supine glute bridges change that completely. In the same study, participants who performed glute bridges 4 times per week for 10 weeks increased their glute strength by 39% and improved their ability to rise from a seated position by 26%. Those are life-changing numbers. Getting up from a chair, climbing stairs, maintaining balance on uneven ground, all of that depends on strong glutes. To do this exercise, lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the mattress about hip width apart. Your arms rest at your sides with palms down. Now press through your heels and squeeze your glutes to lift your hips up toward the ceiling. Your body should form a straight line from your shoulders to your knees at the top. Do not arch your lower back. Hold that top position for 5 seconds, squeezing your glutes as hard as you can. Then slowly lower your hips back to the mattress over a count of 4 seconds. That is 1 rep. You want 3 sets of 12 reps. That 5-second hole at the top is where the magic happens. A 2021 study from the Journal of Electromyography and Kinesiology compared glute bridges with and without an isometric hold at the peak. The group that held for 5 seconds showed 31% greater glute activation and 19% greater hamstring activation than the group that simply went up and came down without pausing. The explanation is straightforward. Your muscles are under maximum tension at the top of the bridge, and holding that position forces more muscle fibers to engage to maintain the position. To get even more out of this exercise, focus on driving through your heels rather than your toes. When you push through your toes, your quadriceps take over and your glutes get less work. Heel-driven bridges keep the tension exactly where you want it. After 3 weeks of consistent glute bridges, most people report that standing up from low chairs feels dramatically easier. Their lower back pain decreases and they feel more stable during every step they take throughout the day. This exercise is a powerhouse and your bed makes it comfortable enough to do every single morning. And now, the number 1 exercise on this list, the one that genuinely shocked the medical community. Bed exercise number 1, isometric quad sets. This is the exercise that changes everything, and it does it without moving your leg at all. An isometric quad set is simply lying flat on your back and pressing the back of your knee down into the mattress, tightening your quadriceps as hard as you can, and holding it. That is the entire exercise. No motion, no impact, no joint stress whatsoever. And the results are almost hard to believe. A landmark 2023 study published in the British Medical Journal followed 140 adults aged 55 to 80 with varying degrees of knee osteoarthritis. One group performed isometric quad sets 5 days per week for 6 weeks. The control group continued their normal walking routine. At the end of the trial, the quad set group had increased their quadriceps strength by 36%. The walking group increased theirs by only 9%. Even more remarkable, the quad set group reported a 42% reduction in knee pain during daily activities like climbing stairs and standing from a chair. The lead researcher described the findings as one of the most significant discoveries in accessible rehabilitation in the past decade. The reason this works so well comes down to muscle physiology. When you perform an isometric contraction, meaning you tighten a muscle without changing its length, you recruit a massive number of muscle fibers all at once. A 2020 study in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that isometric contractions can recruit up to 95% of available motor units in the quadriceps compared to only about 60% during walking. That means you are getting nearly full muscle activation with absolutely zero wear and tear on your joints. To perform a quad set properly, lie flat on your back with your legs fully extended. Place a small rolled up towel under your right knee so there is a slight bend. Now press the back of your knee firmly into the towel while tightening the muscles on the top of your thigh. You should see your kneecap pull slightly upward when you are doing it correctly. Hold that contraction for 10 seconds, then relax for 5 seconds. That is 1 rep. Aim for 3 sets of 10 reps per leg. The 10-second hold is critical. The 2023 BMJ study specifically tested various hold durations and found that 10 seconds was the minimum effective dose for meaningful strength gains, while holds shorter than 6 seconds produced almost no measurable improvement. You should feel a strong tightening sensation across the entire front of your thigh. If you do not, try pressing harder into the towel or adjusting its position slightly. Many people are surprised by how fatiguing this exercise becomes by set 2 or 3, despite the fact that their leg never actually moves. That fatigue is your quadriceps working harder than they do during a walk. Do these every single morning, and within 4 to 6 weeks, you will likely feel a difference that walking alone never gave you. Stronger legs getting out of bed, more confidence on stairs, less pain during daily movement. This one exercise is the foundation of real leg strength, and your bed is the only equipment you will ever need. So, there you have it. 6 bed exercises that science has proven can strengthen your legs faster than walking alone. You do not need a gym membership. You do not need expensive equipment. You do not even need to leave your mattress. Start with exercise number 6 tomorrow morning and work your way through the list. Be consistent, be patient, and within a few weeks, you are going to feel a difference in your legs that surprises you. Your future self will thank you for starting today. If this helped you, hit that subscribe button so you do not miss our next video. Thanks for watching.